What's going on, people? Behind me is my 2017 John Cooper Works. And this is the engine out of it. And as you probably know, if you've been keeping up with the videos, that is my old engine and this is the new one. And in today's episode, we're hopefully going to be getting this engine back in and starting it for the first time. But we've got a few things we need to do first. And that is getting this gearbox off and straight back onto the new engine. So starting us off was this intermediate shaft that simply just pulled out once the bracket was removed. And then I could move on to removing the main 6 bolts holding in the gearbox. And now with the gearbox on the floor and out of the way, we can move on to the pressure plate and the clutch that was held in by 6 bolts. And with the clutch off, we could get to the dual mass flywheel that was just held in with 8 big Torx bolts. And that is how simple it is to remove a gearbox off a JCW. But of course, we're not just taking things off, we've got to put it all back on, so on goes the flywheel. Right, so we've got the flywheel on, just need to torque it down, which you'll see, without special BMW tooling, it's going to be quite hard, but we'll get around that. And of course we got past it. Who needs this special BMW tooling when you've got a gearbox bolt and a pry bar? But next up was one of the most daunting tasks. For me personally anyway, as I've never messed with a clutch, and that was lining it up with the pressure plate, which is actually pretty simple looking back at it. So after a bit of research and a few YouTube videos, this is how this tool's used. So first you align the clutch by eye as best you can and as centre as possible. You then drop the tool in and wind the top part down that grabs the clutch itself, and then you wind the coned collar all the way down, and that pushes onto the pressure plate, and it should centre align everything around it. Then you're able to pick up the clutch and pressure plate as a complete unit and install to the flywheel. And as simple as that, the clutch pack just slides on, couple of bolts, torqued down to 25 Newton meters in a star pattern of course. And that is job done for the clutch and flywheel. And that is some great progress for today. Gearbox has been taken off, clutch, flywheel off, transferred over to the new engine, nicely lined up with the clutch alignment tool, and I can come back tomorrow. Well, I'd like to do it right now, but I've got a curry to get to, and I can't wait for a beer. So, yes, we'll be back tomorrow, clean that gearbox out, hook it up, finish off the rest of the turbo side, and then we can get it back in. We're getting one step closer to turning that engine over. So I'll catch you tomorrow. We're back the next day, and today we're going to be getting the gearbox on, doing the finishing touches, and hopefully, if all being well, we can start getting this engine in. But first things first, let's clean out this gearbox. It's not too bad and there's nothing worrying, but while I'm here, I might as well clean it out. I just got absolutely caked in gearbox crap. I don't know what it is, but anyway, let's get this gearbox on. Getting the actual gearbox onto the engine isn't that hard. There's 2 dowels already in the engine as like a locating dowel, as well as the input shaft going into the clutch and flywheel. It's pretty simple to line up. And then there's 6 main big bolts holding the gearbox to the block. And there we go, that's one manual gearbox fitted up to the engine. Bloody heavy to get on, but got the main 6 bolts in. We'll tighten them up properly in a minute because we've got a few smaller bolts that go around the bottom. So we'll put them in and we'll tighten it all up. With the gearbox all tightened down, Next to go in was that intermediate shaft and a bracket that was cracked, so good job I had another one. And that is job done for the gearbox. We've got the intermediate shaft with the other drive shaft all bolted up, spins nicely. Now all that's left is the catalytic converter, all the heat shielding and part of the air intake, and then we're ready to go in. I'll be honest though, it's been a while since I took all that heat shielding off, so I'm gonna have to go back and watch my own video to remember what process everything goes back on. So I'll be back in a second. After watching my own video back, I recognised where everything went, so I could start by putting the rear heat shield on that goes behind the turbo, followed by the catalytic converter, and then the main heat shield that goes over the cat. And yeah, it took me so long, it just didn't want to go in, but we got it done. Right, that's the heat shielding on. Jesus Christ, this is well awkward to get on. It'd be awful to do on the car, honestly. Fair play to whoever does it like that. But yeah, it's on there. Just got this air intake pipe. I think that's all that's left. And then I'll have a good check round the engine. And then I need to tidy up. And last but not least, on went the air intake pipe. And this is a complete JCW engine. And that is, I think, one complete JCW engine. It's crazy to me that I've even got this far, so mental. We're at a good point. I'm pretty sure we've got everything we need to. I mean, it's looking like quite a lump now, so that's all on. I'm going to tidy up, go home, and tomorrow we're going to be getting it in. So I'll see you in the next clip. Right then, it's the next day. It's time to do my final checks and then start getting this engine plumbed in. Final checks are done. I'm pretty sure we've got everything attached, connected, what we need. Engine's moved, ready to be lifted up. I'm so nervous. I haven't even got it in yet. It was finally time to get this engine back in, and it was only right to call along Luke for some help, seeing as though he helped me take it out. Shuffling the engine forward as we went, just about making it past the chassis rails and into position where we could finally at least line up the gearbox mount. Right, so this is where we've got to so far. We've finally got the actual bottom of the gearbox and the engine over this brace. That turned out to be the hardest part. You can see, we started to line up the gearbox. But now, we can fit this engine mount, because obviously, if you would have watched when we took it out, we had to take it out so the engine could slide out. But my engine mount was actually cracked, which apparently is quite a common issue on these F56s, as they are getting on now. So, thanks to Sussex Road and Race for this brand new second-hand unripped mount. So if you need any F56, R56, any parts like that, give them a follow on Instagram, check out their eBay page, they got loads of stuff. So thanks again to Sussex Road and Race for supplying me with that. So with my brand new second-hand engine mount, I could start bolting it all up and tighten the engine to the actual mounts. And just like that, we could drop the weight off the crane, and that is one mounted engine. We may have the engine in, but we've still got a list to get through, or at least half of it, to get this thing started. So sit back and enjoy the footage.
Pretty little comeback kids are waking up from where they've been in the dark. I don't wanna
So after pretty much ticking everything off that list, all there was left to do was some water pipes, gear linkages, and of course the battery and ECU. This is the moment of truth then. Put some power to it, crank it over for some oil pressure, and then we'll go for a start. First crank. That sounds a lot better than my last one. Right, let's bang the spark plugs in. I'm shaking. It's a bit of an overkill torque wrench, isn't it? Yeah. Here we go. Ignition.
Moment of truth, mate. Wait, let me take this rag off.
Good?
I think we're good, mate. Start your new engine up. Oh, man. It's gonna start.
God, yes! Yes! Yes!
Let's go.
Oh, mate, that sounds beautiful.
Yes! Yes! Let's go.
Oh, mate, that sounds beautiful. It hasn't got the map in it. Okay, yeah. No! Yes! Get in.
Unreal, brother.
Oh,
Well in, bro.
there's only one way to celebrate this win is with the Jubel. This isn't sponsored, but Jubel, please sponsor them. Which one? Let's crack them open. No. Out of focus.
Stunning. Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Get in. And like that, it's a few days later. Would you believe that we got that engine in and it starts and it sounds, touch wood, it sounds good. Just need to build that front end up, get it run up to temp, and in the next video, we're gonna drive that car. And just to top it off, we've even got a bonnet. So, if you have enjoyed, please drop a subscribe, drop a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.